Okay, I'm back. Just
All
loading.
right. We are live and fixing to kick us off. Just a second.
Excellent.
Good evening, everybody. David Anderson, Ryan Thompson here. We are back in the booth again for another exciting GT3 Sprint Series race. This week, coming to you all from Imola. Very infamous track, which we'll talk a little bit about for a whole lot of different reasons. But excited to be here. Excited to have a huge field tonight in the GT3 Sprint Series. And Ryan, this one's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. As you alluded to, Imola is always a really fun but tough track to race, and in these cars and with this field size, it's going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, it really will be. It's a very technical track, and it's interesting that we will, be here tonight. And I think this is a good tune-up for what will come next week at Fuji because that Fuji race is technical, a lot like this one. As the drivers are actually just starting qualifying, we'll get out on the track with a couple of them here in a minute. But it's technical. I think if you can do well here, it might even be able to get a setup that translates itself well between this track and Fuji. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but it feels like as we move into Fuji next week with that being a 75-minute race. We've also got the Porsche Cup Series there, and then of course the big show with iRacing Team Endurance Series. That one's going to feel like a big event, and I think anybody gonna racing in that wants to do well here to go in there with momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you always want a good result at Imola.
Yeah, you do, and it'll be interesting. We'll get out on track here now and take a look at a couple of the drivers. We'll start with last week's winner, DJ Alessandrini, out on the track. A really cool story about DJ this week. For those of you who may not have picked up on it, go pick up the latest issue of Sports Car Magazine, which is published by the Sports Car Club of America. You might actually have to be a member. I know last time I checked, you had to be a member of the SCCA to get that magazine, but may be able to pick it up at a Barnes & Noble or something like that. DJ is on the cover of the magazine. He's also featured in the feature story within the magazine, and we're happy to have him here. He's doing a lot in the real world with racing, and also spending time moonlighting here with us, Ryan. I thought that was a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it was really, really good to be featured like that, and well, learn a little bit more about one of the racers that we have here in the GT3 Sprint Series at CMS.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that we have so many great you know guys from all kind of different fabrics, right? We got guys who've are truly novices. We've got guys who have some real world experience. I know that we've had many members over the years here who are professional racers. Guys like Guy Cosmo. Guy is a member of CMS and runs with us in some of our R Factor 2 events. We did a big partnership with the SRO sanctioning body and did a big esports series with our Assetto Corsa Competition group a couple of years ago. And it's been really good to see the sim racer and then a lot of these pro guys, that have come along, and like Kyle Marcelli and others that have joined us. It's been really kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so cool just having, like you said, like all ranges on the track at once, and it works.
Yeah, it does. And moving here along, looks like Max Muir provisionally on the pole right now. We've got about 6 more minutes left in qualifying. The drivers get a 10-minute session to do. Is it 2 or 4 laps that they can do, Ryan? I can't remember off the top of my head, but they can do a few laps out here.
Yep, 2 laps.
Yeah, you can see Max coming through Aqua Minerale. We talked a lot about this track, and it's infamous for those of you who may not know the history. This is, of course, the unfortunate scene of Ayrton Senna's death, and in what's now the Tamburello corner,
Yeah, and
turn one.
Ratzenberger as well.
Yep, and exactly. So, but a lot of changes and improvements over the year. Formula One is back at this track. It tends to be a very exciting race when they go there, not without a lot of issues and incidents. So it's a high, what do you call it? Attrition track, Ryan. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see a similar situation tonight.
Yeah, always hope it's not too bad, but realistically, yeah, there's a few sore spots on the track for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. And just excited to have the opportunity really to call it here tonight. A few drivers still out here getting laps in the 5 minutes or so we've got left. I'll give a quick rundown of what we're seeing here. It looks like provisionally on the pole right now, we've got a new pole sitter, and that's Max Muir. I have to admit that's a name I don't know that I'm overly familiar with here in the series, Ryan. I don't know if you've got any G2 on Max, but he's going to make himself known with that lap for sure.
Yeah, he just signed up about 2 hours ago.
Okay. So, boy, came in brand new and has immediately made a statement, hadn't he? Max right now with a 141.3. Miguel Colon is in second place with a 141.3 as well, just a few 1,000ths of a second behind. Justin Hess with another really good qualifying effort today in third position. Michael Parker is back this week after being off last week. And DJ Alessandrini in fifth position. Those are kind of how the pros look. Hunter McRoby looks to be the quickest, and this is Hunter. Looks like he's parked at the end of pit road right now. But Punter, I said punter. Hunter, had a good qualifying last week. I think he was on the pole in the AM class last week, and it looks like he's going to repeat that this week ahead of Scott Kennedy and Joshua Burke. And it looks like we've got a Josh Burke fan in Twitch already, which is cool. So
we do indeed.
Yeah. Not sure why Hunter's sitting here at the end of pit road. He must have finished his lap and is just kind of sitting. Still a little bit of time for guys to get out and run. I'm going to see if there's anyone out there still running. Looks like we may have a couple. If I can find anyone actually turning a lap. Here comes a car coming into the pits. That's Douglas Hintz. Joe Stifle may also be out on the track. I think everybody's pretty much wrapping up, actually. So,
yeah,
we may
and
not.
Maybe JT might be out.
Yeah, JT Tammy potentially is out.
And Brett Trosen and Stephen Yanni.
Yeah, here's JT.
Not sure if they're on flyers or not.
Yeah, JT going around the track right now, currently in 23rd position. Let's see what Stephen Yanni is doing. Here's Stephen, currently showing in last place without a lap. So this may be our last driver to kind of ride with to see if we get a lap in here on a hot lap. Stephen in his Ferrari has moved up to the Pro Class this year, or I should say this season. We're in the same year. Stephen coming off the win in the championship in season 1 and made the move from the AM division where he won that championship into the pros. And yeah, again, I'm seeing here we've got Josh's cheerleader. It's good to have cheerleaders, good to have friends and family and just others that you can kind of share this with. I think that's really cool. Ryan, 45 tonight is what I'm seeing, so that's back up there. I think we've been as high as 50, maybe 50, slightly over. Yeah,
53, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So big crew tonight. Do a quick rundown before they get ready to grid up. We'll keep you updated on Stephen Yanni. Looks like he has is going to complete his lap here and hopefully get out of last place. So let's just kind of see how he comes around. I'm showing him now in 26th position. I may be a little bit behind video-wise to what's posted on the timing. But as far as a rundown goes, looks like we're going to have, unless something changes here imminently in the last few seconds, we're going to have Max Muir on pole. Miguel Colon will start second. Justin Hess in third. Michael Parker fourth. DJ Alessandrini fifth. That's the pro class. In the AM class, we will have seventh place overall will be Hunter McRoby. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is 2 poles in a row for Hunter. Had a solid start to last week's race. Faded a little bit, but hopefully he can kind of overcome that this week. Scott Kennedy will start second. Joshua Burke, who we've been talking about, will be in third. Tim Collier in fourth. Another tremendous run from Tim. We found out, too, Ryan, from talking to Tim last week, that he had a pedal calibration issue. It sounded like he had it for months, possibly, and wasn't getting full. I can't remember if it was brake or throttle, but he's got that fixed and shot right back up to the top of the group here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a sim racer for you. Like, we can make do if something's a little bit out of whack. Like his brake, I think, was at 70%.
Yeah.
He's still
So
he was still doing pretty good.
he was, but he was having some inconsistency. I know at Magny Cours in the France race, he and Larry Ford had an issue. Tim ended up, I think, maybe with a DNF there, or limped it home at best, and was kind of pretty inconsistent at the beginning of the season. But had a podium last week. We were really excited to be able to talk to Tim. He's also the series organizer. And so a really solid result for him there in 15th position overall and 4th in class. And then we've got Joe Stifel, is the 5th place qualifier in the AM class. Joe, another driver who we've talked to already this year, had a win, if I'm not mistaken. And kind of cool to see him continue to do well as in addition to the others. So it's like we're gridding up here, Ryan.
Yeah, just rolling off the line.
Yeah. So I'll give a quick update as far as the championship goes. Paul Darling, currently the leader in the championship points, has had 2 wins this season. He will roll off 9th today. Victor Tanaka is second in the points, but Victor's going to have a little bit of a setback today. He has to serve a penalty. I believe it is a drive-through or a stop-and-go for contact last week with Miguel Colon. So that's going to drop Victor, to the rear of this thing right from the get-go. Miguel Colon finds himself in 3rd position in the points. James Gong 4th, and Drew Lidke in 5th. That's the pro class. In the AM class, we've got Joshua Burke, Scott Kennedy, Gabriel Albano, Jeffrey Adams, and Liam Park are our top 5. So here we go, Ryan. Let's do it.
Let's light it up.
Let's light it up. Miguel Colon on the inside, Max Muir on the outside. They should be getting a green flag here any second. They fan out, start going all the way down into Tamburello. Max in a good position here. Looks like he will stay out in front of Miguel. Pretty orderly here up front. Max gets out front. We've seen that be very important in these races with these top guys. Whoever can get out front. Boy, but Miguel is all over him, Ryan. Just all over him. Almost wanted to make the lunge there, it felt like.
Yep.
Great start to the race. Let's look back a little bit further at our AM leader. Here's Hunter McRoby. I'm on him now, and we'll give you kind of a close-up. He is in this Reflex 220 BMW. Hunter with a really good qualifying. He's got Victor Tanaka, Paul Darling behind him right now. So those are some of the pro guys, just to give you an idea of how well Hunter did. So really a great start for him in first position in the AM class. And he's got a little bit of a buffer, which we found to be normal. We have to go back to about 12th position to this Dog Bear Audi car before we find Scott Kennedy in second place. Another fast and furious start, Ryan.
As always.
But pretty orderly up front. It does look like we have had a couple of issues, and let's take a look and see what some of these are that are happening. It looks like, unfortunately, Peter Hebron may be in an accident here. Let's see what happens with Peter. Oh, no. Just heavy braking, 2 or 3 cars off in a slow area of the track. Looks like Steven Yanni may have had a problem. He's slow. This is Steven. Looks like there's some damage to this car. It's crab walking a little bit, Ryan.
Yep,
I
can see that.
I didn't see what happened to him, but he's definitely got some damage. May have been collateral damage in that issue we just saw. So that kind of seems to be where the problem is. It looks like, really struggling is Steven Yanni. Oh, and he's off again. Good Lord. He's going to have to tow.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, he's going to have to tow and get it to the pits and get fixed there, where he's going to find a couple of other cars in there with him. That was a fairly significant accident. We caught some of it there, but looks like maybe we've had 3 or 4 drivers. I can't confirm this entirely, but it looks like Steven Yanni, Jack Clark, Richard McClure, David Kaufman, and David McNillis in that accident. Or around the accident. All 5 of them are on pit road right now, as well as John Reimerchek and Victor Tanaka. Now, we know Victor, though, is on pit road, or he's actually already come in. So this is Victor here, back out with him now as he rejoins the race. But he had to come in for, I believe it was probably a drive-through, Ryan.
Yeah, that's right, I think.
Yeah, so Victor currently 2nd in the championship in 34th right now. So it's going to be really fun to watch what he's able to do in the race and kind of move himself back up through the field. Meanwhile, back up front here, kind of get on here with Alessandrini, who we know won last week. He is behind Michael Parker giving chase. That's Hunter McRoby right behind them, and then Paul Darling, kind of Hunter is the meat and the sandwich between a couple of the top pro guys. So just again, can't say enough about how well Hunter in this black and red BMW is doing. Super impressed with his skill set.
Yeah, definitely. If you can dice it up with the pro guys in this field, that's doing pretty good.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't recall exactly what it was last week, Ryan, but I felt like he ran up front and then faded, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm mistaking him with someone else. No, he actually won the race. Yeah, I was confusing him with someone else. He did hold on and win the race. Because I remember talking to him now. So picking up right where he left off. So my apologies to Hunter there. There was someone else recently that was on a pole in AM and fell back, and I was confusing the two of them there. So apologies to Hunter. He's anything but that.
And, that sound you may have heard was our team mascot, Gandalf the cat. We've got a few other Twitch chat comments here. Upward Worm is wondering where their boy Josh went.
Let's see if we can't figure that out. Here he is. Here's Josh. So we're on with... Oh, my goodness. He went to hell in a handbasket is what we can tell you. Let me see if I can find this here. I think I have. Here's the issue. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Is not good. And that was with Scott Kennedy. Let's ride along here with Scott Kennedy. I just don't know that, as much as I hate to say it, I don't know that Josh gave Hunter enough room there, Ryan. I mean, Scott enough room. Scott didn't have any more track to deal with. Hard to tell. You and we're not in the car there, but I don't think he could have been any further right there. So, unfortunate to see that and you can see Kennedy now on pit road. Burke has, we'll go back and look at it one more time. Yeah, and Burke really took the brunt of that. He is going to go live here. Burke has stayed on the track, but he's dropped all the way back to 34th position. I can't imagine he's going to be able to drive this thing for long. Ryan, he's going to probably have to get to the pits.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't already have a meatball flag for
Yeah.
the damage there.
Yeah, and Kennedy got into the pits. And, I think with Kennedy, he was another driver we didn't get the opportunity to touch on it. But I'm pretty sure, Scott's been running up front, and he's back on the track now. You can see him here. He took his fast repair. He's back on the track in 42nd position. So again, the nice thing is you do have a fast repair. If something like that happens, you can get back out here. But I believe he had a penalty that he had to serve tonight, and sometimes the further back you are, you're sort of vulnerable, if you will. And unfortunately, that kind of led to his early demise. So he's going to have to just see what he can do to recover. And for both of these drivers, Kennedy, I mean, that's first and second in the points right now. So that's going to really, really, really open the door for somebody like Gabriel Albano. And let's get on here with Gabriel. Talk about someone who's doing well, currently in 18th position. And just kind of continues to be steady. I know we had the opportunity to talk to Gabriel last week, put together another podium finish, and this is a driver I've been just super impressed with, Ryan, in this Porsche.
Yeah, he's been really consistent, which is what it takes to do well in the championship here. Of course, it's a long season, and the more high numbers you can put up on the board, the better.
Yeah, and I don't remember off the top of my head, the older I get, the worse my memory gets, but I don't think he won a race. He has not won a race this season. That much I know. But I don't remember if he won a race last season or not. He's placed well in a lot of them, and he's also been in our Porsche Cup Series and done well there too. But, he's due. This is a driver that is due for a win. And I think it's going to come any minute. Could be tonight, right?
Yep. Yeah. We'll see what he's able to do here. And as I look for that season 1 information, comment from Wesley in the Twitch chat, you may recall we were promised filet mignon a couple of races ago.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Comes in here with your favorite D-list celebrity chef is here. It says he put in some laps this week. It was about 3 seconds off the pace, but tonight he's about 3 glasses of champagne in. So
all right, Wesley,
guess, not drinking and driving.
Yeah, Wesley sounds like my kind of guy, right? We have all this out on the track stuff is too much work, right? I think the glasses of champagne, and what we ought to do is get Wesley as buzzed as we possibly can, and then we'll both send him our addresses for Omaha Steaks or something, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So back up here in front, we've got a pretty close battle going on here from about 4th position. So I want to run down each of these drivers. So this is Michael Parker in 4th position overall, kind of leading this train. He's in the Audi, the red, white, black Audi that you see. That's Michael. Was off last week, had a business trip, so couldn't be here. But picking up right where he left off. He's our championship winner from last season, has already won a race this year, also won a race in Porsche Cup. So Michael, definitely another pro driver. For those of you that don't know about Michael, he's got a lot of real-world motorsports experience as well. He's a national level SCCA champion in autocross solo. Has driven a number of cars over the years, but one that currently he competes in nationally is his Indy Miata MX-5, and he is under a ton of pressure from DJ Alessandrini. DJ's going to send it on him, and he gets around him. Wow. And here comes Paul Darling's going to try to go with him. Michael says, no, I'm not having any of that, and shuts the door. And then Hunter McRoby is right behind these guys. And you want to talk about going to school for the AM driver there. He's getting one hell of a view here. In fact, let's ride on board with Hunter and watch this from his cockpit. Look at these guys dicing it up, and they know that every inch out here is worth something.
Yeah, and it is only lap 7 in this race.
Yeah, it is only lap 7, and Alessandrini as well also competed in SCCA solo, and has kind of made the leap from some of that into some more of the track stuff, as has Michael. So that's another thing that I think just to encourage people to do. There's sim racing, which is amazing, and you can do on a lot of different budgets. You can also kind of get involved in the real world. Look up your local Sports Car Club of America chapter. There's one pretty much everywhere, and get your car out and go to a solo. Go to a solo autocross event. You'll meet some new people. You meet some new friends. You'll meet some sim racers as well, and you'll learn a lot just about motorsports while you're out there. Boy, they are. Oh man, look at how close this is. Hunter is getting one heck of a view here, isn't he, Ryan?
Yeah, this is, like you said, this is some education.
Yes, it is.
Update on our stakes. Apparently they got lost in the mail. Damn.
So it looks like Paul is continuing to try to get past Michael. I think Paul is a little faster than Michael here. And but Michael, getting to him's one thing, passing him's another. Michael's not doing anything wrong. But what's happening is Alessandrini is now checking out a little bit, right? You can see he's checked out from these guys, and now he's trying to run down Justin Hess. But because they were battling so hard, this is Justin Hess here now. Another shout out to Justin having another great race. Justin is about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of them. So they'll have a hard time running Justin down just because his pace in and of itself will be so strong. And then again, we'll kind of go through the rundown here, moving upward. Here's Miguel Colon, currently in second position. Good to see Miguel having a nice start here. He got caught up with Victor Tanaka at VIR last week and went to the rear of the field with a lot of trouble. And then our newbie, Max Muir, somebody we don't know yet, Ryan, but I have a feeling we could be getting to know a lot better before the end of the night.
Yeah, so far it's shaping up that way.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way things are looking in Pro. In the AM category, let's work backwards in a little bit different way. We've talked about McRoby. That's him here chasing the pro drivers in this red and black BMW. So that is Hunter having another really, really solid run. Just behind him, so Hunter is in 7th position overall right now and on the tail end with the pro drivers. In second place is Douglas Hintz in one of our favorite cars, the Cyberpunk 2077 car. Doug, having won a race last season at Red Bull Ring, continues to drive very well. I know, Ryan, Doug doesn't make all the races, but boy, when he's here, he's competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. See where Doug is in the points. I'm not even seeing him this season. Is this maybe his first race in the series this season? It might be.
Gosh, I didn't think so, but maybe.
I didn't think so either. I thought he'd been out. Maybe that's something you can check on for me. But Doug is currently in second. Tim Collier is in third position. So here's Tim in the Can-Am fluorescent green and black Ferrari. Tim has really been showing very, very well, coming off of a podium last week at VIR and looking strong again here tonight. Joe Stifle is behind Tim, albeit by about 3 or 4 seconds. We've talked quite a bit about Joe this season, and he's continued to be a front runner in this Bengal Tiger car with just a phenomenal paint scheme. Love how he's got his name on it, the Stifle on the door. And it's just a cool car, and great to see Joe having a good run. And then who we talked about earlier, this is Gabriel Albano. So we'll ride from the blimp down looking at Gabriel. Gabriel currently in 5th position in the AM class, and he's benefiting the most right now from the unfortunate start to Scott Kennedy and Josh Burke's race. And an update on Kennedy and Burke, they find themselves Burke in 32nd and Kennedy in 41st place right now So they've got a long night ahead of them.
Yeah. And Douglas was here at Barcelona last week, and he came in, I believe, fifth in the AM category.
Okay, but that was maybe his first race of the season.
It was.
Yeah, so that's why we're not showing Douglas in the point standings, if you will. But when he has been here, he has been very competitive. This is him again, and it's great to see that. It's great to see Doug doing well. We'd like to get Doug and Doug Ritter, his buddy, the Doug and Doug Show. We'd like to get them back out to the IRTES series. They ran last season, but we have not had them on the track this year. So, guys, if either of you see that, or if any of their friends see that, let's get you back out there. You're competitive, and we'd like to have you out on the track with us all. Looks like we've got something on Rick McClure, Ryan. I don't know if you can help me with that in the chat. Maybe a little bit of a story or a tidbit on Rick.
Yeah, well, I don't have any insider info on that one, but it sounds like just forward to our discussion on the SCCA. Apparently, Rick and Billy Massengill do drag races with that, and have an R8 that does a quarter mile in the mid to low 7 seconds.
Wow.
And 0 to 100 in 2.2, which is pretty damn impressive.
That's very impressive. And let's talk about these guys here for a minute. Here is Rick McClure here. Rick finds himself. Rick, I think, was one of the drivers that was caught up in the accident early on that we reported on, on the first lap. Finds himself back in 36th position right now. And as far as Billy Massengill, his buddy, so here's his drag racing buddy, Billy doing a little bit better. He's in 27th position right now overall. And, well, that's awesome. I would love to see some pictures of that car, maybe a video.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that out on the chat, guys. We really appreciate it. Really cool to hear about that. I think we may have had, unfortunately, Joshua Burke back on pit road, Ryan. Here it is. I'm going to rewind this here, and let's just see what happens here in real time. Looks like somebody ahead of him is going to go to his cockpit. Now we got a car around. It's the Mild 7 car of Peter Holm. And Josh had to come right back to the pits.
Did you see any contact there?
I did. I'm wondering if maybe he was at his max time. Here he is. Let's see if he gets a fast repair. He may have been, like you said earlier. I can't imagine he was not meatballed. Yeah, so you see how
this is from the first damage that we saw then, still.
Right, and he took he went ahead and took the fast repair. So he's back out here live now and running, and no harm, no foul. I think he may have just taken that opportunity when Peter Holm spun to go ahead and come to the pits. It looks like maybe David Slee has had an issue. Here's David. Gets off. Oh, David, don't hit anything. Nice save. Nice save by David Slee. Although he went to the pits. That could have been a I'm going to the pits out of frustration move. Imola has a way of doing that, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Let's get back on here with our leader, Ryan, and let's just let everybody enjoy a lap around Imola here with Max Muir, and just kind of listen and watch him go for a little bit. He just came through Tamburello. He's in Sector 1 still. Already working through back markers. He'll make the left here and then come down to Aqua Minerale after he makes this second left. That was pretty watching him go through there.
Yeah, it's a tough one to get right.
Using a lot of curb there, which you can do if you've got the right profile, ride height-wise, set up in the car. And Max has stretched out a pretty nice little lead here, Ryan. He's about 3.5 seconds up on Miguel Colon now.
Boy, I'm sure glad he joined in the pro class.
Yeah, boy, me too. So looking really, really strong. Nice run for Max. And they have spread out now a little bit more. So if we kind of go back about 2.5, 3 seconds, we'll find Miguel Colon. So that's Miguel coming on down here into Tamburello. Nice sunny day here, sim-wise. A little cooler, Ryan. We talked about, as we see Miguel go around here, we talked about how we've had, in Fahrenheit, over 100-degree track temps the last couple of weeks, I think. And it's nice to see something a little bit cooler for the drivers. Maybe the tire wear won't be such as big of an issue tonight.
Yeah, the last few races, as you mentioned, have been real cooking. I think the last track temps were in the 110s or 120s even.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a really good battle going on here for 7th and 8th place. Actually, we just saw a position change here. James Gong in the Mountain Dew Porsche got around Hunter McRoby, and Richard Hibbs is right behind them. I know we've had some fans of Richard's. Richard has had 2 or 3 top 15 finishes so far on the season, and this may be about as high as we've seen Richard. Well within the top 10 here in 9th place, so really solid run by him, and great to see continuing to improve, every week. Richard in 8th place in the points battle right now too, so a solid run for him to get the night going.
Yep.
Yeah, so good race here. I want to pick up on a couple more of them. Just behind them, another good race. This is Edward Nelson, and Edward being chased by Doug Heinz, who we talked about in the Cyberpunk car. So this is a pretty close battle. And then we've got another really close one here between these two green cars. This is Rafael Sosa leading Tim Collier. And you know what I'm liking that I see here, Ryan, is we've got kind of some of the, mid-level pros with the top-level AMs, and they're having some good races kind of at that level, right? A little bit overlap, right?
Yeah.
It's encouraging.
It's really good to see.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see that guys have to race. And we've talked about this before, even though these cars are in separate classes, points-wise, they're competing for the same pool of points. So we have one points table, and, you share those points. So, the winner gets, X amount of points, and last place gets Y. Every position between there is a position that matters for the overall, point, spread, if you will. So it is important. They are racing, in the grand scheme of things, just within their subclass, either pro or am, but they are they're racing each other for those key positions that would yield more points, right? And I like that. I think that's a really good way you guys have done this.
Yeah, it seems to really kind of up the incentive to race and provide more battles up and down the field, even if you sort of find yourself racing with the wrong class, as it were.
Right. And it just, I think it just kind of adds another element. And again, if you look at our scoring tower, any car that you see with, and Doug Heinz is around. What happened there? Let's go back and see what happened here, Ryan. Here it is just a moment ago. Going back to the replay. He just lost it.
Oh,
and JT Tammy hit him. Oh, no. Watch JT Tammy come along here. This is JT's cockpit. Actually, that's Doug's cockpit. Doug had to come straight to the pits. I want to watch this from JT's purview. Nowhere to go, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. And I think JT... Oh, look at JT's car's destroyed. It is absolutely destroyed. What a shame. You know, another little story here. You can see that JT has the Champion Motorsport name on his car, and you may think by default that that's us because we are Champion Motorsports and we go by cmsracing.com. But there's also a sports car team, IMSA team, and in other various disciplines that competes. And JT, big fan as well as affiliated with that team in a lot of ways, and would love to hear him tell us a little bit more about that. But he's been a big part of that group and their support and success for some time, which I think is just really, really cool.
Yeah, there's so many sort of interlocking parts to what makes CMS really successful in my mind, with all the different series that we've got going on, and this is a good example of that. And JT is things interlocking personified. He races in just about everything that we have to offer at CMS.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. He is involved in everything. Whether it be R Factor 2, Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing. He races for our endurance team. He does so many different things, which is really interesting. I think we may be seeing, from what I'm hearing on the radio here, Ryan, we might be seeing Tim Collier come to the pits, and we are. Tim Collier coming to the pits here right now. I think he just felt like he was stuck there behind Rafael Sosa maybe, and trying an undercut move here is kind of what I'm thinking we're seeing.
Yeah, could be. We're well within the pit window at this point, so.
Right, we're right at about that halfway point. He was stuck behind Rafael. We touched on that battle a few minutes ago. Tim coming in, looks like he's taking 4 tires here and going to get going again, and we'll see if that benefits him. We'll pay close attention to where Tim, and then this is Rafael up ahead. He has not come to the pits in this green and black Mercedes. The 2 cars look very similar. One of them a Ferrari, the other one a Mercedes, but Rafael currently finds himself in 10th position overall. So it'll be interesting to see when he comes in, and in relation to Tim, and then we can kind of report back on that. Meanwhile, we talked about this earlier too, Ryan. We ride here with Victor Tanaka. He's had that drive-through penalty, but has worked his way all the way back up to 17th place.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, because he was able to qualify, so he's going to be showing right now as down 12 positions from where he qualified. So he had a strong qualifying. So every bit of that track position was important, and then came in, took his medicine. Had an incident last week with Miguel Colon that was, deemed, he was a responsible party for that contact. And so the stewards, we have stewards here at CMS that look at every, incident review. And he had to take his medicine tonight. But, I'm showing him right now in 15th place. Moved up a couple of spots even here since we've been talking with some of the cars on pit road. We're seeing a few cars now pitting. Chris Hudson, Gabriel Albano, who we talked about earlier, Tim Collier, we mentioned Billy Massengale. Actually, Billy has not come to the pits, but got sort of those halfway pitters are in now, Ryan.
Yep.
I know we like to talk about guys just randomly, and let's do that now. Here is Leonard Burke. This is a solid run for Leonard in the 271 in this green and purple Porsche. Leonard has had some tough races. He really has. And I know he has been working very hard on his racecraft, an area where I know that he knows that he can improve upon, get more consistent. And to see him here tonight with a clean car in 26th position, that's a good start, kind of in the right direction.
Yeah, and what do you think of that paint scheme? I like it.
I think I hate it, Ryan.
I had a certain feeling that.
I don't know. It's not doing anything for me, right? It's definitely, you can't miss it. I'll say that, right? Uh, but yeah, it's not my favorite. So maybe we need to help. Although you like it, so that makes up for it. Maybe he's okay, right? But I know we've got. I know we've. In fact, speaking of painters, right ahead of him, and two very different looking cars. Here is Mike Tyler, who many of you may know Mike as a painter extraordinaire. Mike with a little bit of damage on his car, unfortunately, so not sure what happened to him. We did not pick that up live, but Mike in the beautiful Longhorn Racing Lamborghini here. Mike was also part, for those of you long timers that have maybe been involved in this for some time. Mike was a part of the GPLEA, which was the Grand Prix Legends something association. I think it was like a preservation society where there was a group of artists and historians who were huge on GPL. Kind of the grandfather title of all sim racing from Dave Kamer and the Papyrus team. And Mike was instrumental in some of the artwork that was done for those mods that still, they live on today, Ryan. That GPL community continues to thrive and be very, very strong. And just a little known fact about Mike, one heck of a painter. And boy, he is all of a sudden under a ton of pressure here, getting lights flashed in the whole 9 yards. That's our leader, Max Muir, going around him. Well, and Max was just not having any of it. He was like, I am not going to get caught up behind you. Mike did a good job staying steady, holding his line, not wavering. So that's the way you facilitate a pass, guys. Last thing you want to do is, make a sudden move there or something. That would not be a good thing.
Yeah.
But Max Muir, again, has just really checked out on the field. We'll go back again. You can see here's Miguel Colon. He'll be the next one to go around Mike. So Mike is kind of that last car on the lead lap right now, or he was. He was just passed by Max Muir. That's sort of where, and that's all the way down to 24th position that they've already lapped. So these guys up front are just absolutely flying.
Yeah, I think Max is a name that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Certainly is. Here, let's talk about a couple other drivers that just randomly, I'll pick two more here. How about Shane Norton? Let's give Shane in the Dog Bear Audi a shout out. Get him a little bit of airtime. Love the paint scheme. These Dog Bear guys always look fantastic out here. They've been a huge lift for our community. Really happy to have them all participating. Seem like just a great group of guys. Shane holding a pretty wheel tonight in 13th position overall. And looking quite solid, so kudos to him. And let's see, I'll pick one more, just a few positions back. How about Christian Rava? Here is Christian. We ride with him. And love his slogan here of "It's just a game." You're right, Christian. It is. It's just a game. You can't take this stuff too seriously. And I think that's part of also, Ryan, why I feel like CMS kind of is the community it is because, even though we have guys from all different skill levels, from, true pros to, novices and gentlemen, drivers, nobody takes it too seriously.
Yeah, we're a big step up from sort of the public lobbies that you'll find in sim racing, where it's kind of not a free-for-all, but not as well run as what we've got here.
Yeah, and I think that...
But we ride that line of being, having everybody be pretty well prepared, but not take it so super seriously, like you mentioned, that...
Yeah, that it becomes a a wet blanket, or whatever, right? For everybody involved, drivers, administrators, family, right?
Right.
Liam Park here on pit road now, so he's another of the drivers to come in. Most of the field has come in so far, but from about 13th position, so we were just with Shane Norton, 13th position up has not pit. So what I'm going to do here, Ryan, before these pit stops get hot and heavy, is I'm actually going to do a top 20 rundown here right now. So let's get on with each one of these guys. Let's start in 20th position. We've got Chris Hudson. Chris in the Can-Am car, solid run. Chris has been to pit road, so he's been in and out of pit road. This is probably a top 10 car once things settle. So great run for Chris tonight. Just ahead of him on the track, you can see him here, is Stephen Yanni. Stephen having a really, really solid race as well. Our champion from last season, and was involved early on, having a heck of a battle. Chris is going to go around him. We're going to watch this in real time. Boy, they are head and shoulders here. Who's going to play in a game of chicken, Ryan? We got a great view of this.
These paint schemes are very complementary of each other, too. I like it.
Yeah, it is. Man, look at this. We were going to do a field rundown, and all of a sudden we found a race. Steven was having no part of that. Chris won it around him. This is in pro, too. This is a points battle. Let's see if Chris is going to send it down here going into Tamburillo. See if he gets a little bit of draft. He certainly is. He's got the position here now. Steven's going to be forced to let him go here, I think. Great pass. That's how you do it, guys. Oh, wow. And then Steven's got Gabriel Albano all over him.
Steven got a little loose there.
He did, and that let Gabriel in. This is one heck of a race. So we set out here to do a field rundown, and like I said, a race broke out. Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah. Everywhere you look.
Everywhere you look. It looks like Steven's gathered himself. So we'll go back on up. So Tim Collier in 18th position. We talked about Tim. He's been to pit road already. JT Tammy in 17th position. Now, JT has been to the pits, but for not the right reasons. He had to come in and take a fast repair. So, Ryan, that's a question I have. If he comes in and takes a fast repair like he did, does he also get his fuel and everything while he's there too, or does that have to be done separately?
No, it can be done in the same stop.
So he may, if he was within the window when that accident happened, and I think good chance he was, he's probably done pitting.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, so that's where we find 17th. 16th position, Christian Rava. We talked about Christian. 15th position is Richard Hibbs. Richard is on pit road in real time, coming off the pits. I think this is a solid, very, very solid top 10 car here. And one of the top cars who's already been to the pits. So I think we're going to see Richard within the top 10 by the end of the night. Samuel Scott, haven't had a chance to talk about Samuel tonight, and what an appropriate Italian paint scheme, Ryan. Italian track, Italian paint scheme, right? So I love it. Samuel having a great run. Just ahead of him is Victor Tanaka, who we've talked about. This is our biggest mover in the race. Had to come in, take a stop and go early, and he finds himself in lucky position 13 right now. Shane Norton, actually, we had a little bit of a couple of position changes there right as we were talking. Shane Norton here in this Dog Bear car is in 11th position, and he is chasing Joe Stifel. So those are these two here right now. This is 4th position. And then this is an interesting, Ryan, as we go. Joe Stifel's in 10th. We go to 9th. DJ Alessandrini is on the pits, coming out of the pits. So this is last week's winner, and in earlier than the rest of the guys. So I find this interesting.
I recall he was the one that pitted almost at the end of the race last week, so he's changed up his strategy a lot here.
Right, he really has, because he's in now with 20 minutes to go. He is the highest of the front runners to pit. He came back out, and still finds himself in the top 10. So very solid in this regard for him. So right along with DJ from the rear. Here is just ahead of him in 8th position is Drew Lidke. We've not talked about Drew tonight, but Drew continues to be kind of that quiet under the radar guy, 5th place right now, Ryan, in the championship. Had a podium last week, and another strong outing here. I'm liking this. Liking this. What I'm seeing from Drew.
Yeah, he's a teammate of mine. He's always a very steady and competent performer. So he's one to watch, to just keep moving his way forward in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about Drew before. He's part of the Can-Am team. Ryan is a member of that team as well. And he is the highest of the Can-Am drivers right now, and there are about 6 or 7 of them here in the race tonight. It's a large team, one of our more established, longest tenured teams here at CMS. The Can-Am team, it's just wouldn't be the same without them out here. Drew will be piloting this same Lamborghini at Fuji in the iRacing Team Endurance Series in a couple of weeks, so we'll be excited to have him out there. Just ahead of him, by about 4 or 5 seconds, is Edward Nelson in his Porsche. So this is Edward we ride with, having a really solid run. We haven't talked a whole lot about Edward tonight, but Edward is another driver who is certainly just immensely talented and having a solid run. None of these drivers that we're talking about here have been to pit road yet, Ryan. So these are drivers that are waiting kind of till the end.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the strategies shift up this week. Imola has some real high-speed turns and then some real tight chicanes, so maybe tire strategies here are what are determining the strategies this week.
Right. It's fascinating. Here's Hunter McRoby. Boy, this guy has put on a statement. He is the guy to beat in the AM class right now. He's in 6th position overall. He has got a 12-second lead over Joe Steifel, who is in 10th overall and 2nd in the AM class, and continues to just show a tremendous amount of racecraft and pace. So really good to see him having another strong run. And it looks like he's got, this is another one of the Can-Am cars. I'm not sure who that is right in front of him, Ryan. It looks like 274. Maybe I'm reading the number wrong there, but he's going to get around him. That's one of your teammates there. Is that Liam?
I think that's Liam, yeah.
Yeah, so that might be Liam Park. Okay, so we go to our top 5. Here is Michael Parker. You can see him just behind Larry Ford. So Larry is being lapped here by Michael. So Michael getting around Larry. Larry doing the right thing and just kind of lifting out of it and letting him go. So nice racing by Larry, and shout out to him for continuing to always be super professional. Larry running in, trying to find him here. Don't see him off the top of my head. That's okay. But having a good, hopefully a good race. Paul Darling is up in 4th position. And this is about as spread out as I remember seeing him, Ryan, in the top 5. So if we go back to Parker, he's 36 seconds behind Max Muir. Boy, that is quite the gap that Max has built. 36 seconds worth. Paul Darling about 10 seconds ahead of Michael in 4th and 25 seconds behind Max. So that's our 4th place driver. Justin Hess in 3rd, has been there since the drop of the green flag, about 15 seconds back. Miguel Colon in 2nd, and this is Miguel. And then here he is. I'm a bit speechless here. Signed up for the league 2 hours ago. What more do we know about Max other than that, Ryan? Maybe we ought to look up his iRacing profile or something, see what we can glean.
I know that he's a friend of Justin Hess. Beyond that, I don't know very much.
Yeah, well, good. Maybe a teammate of Justin. We know what we do know, and what we can comment on for the viewers is that Justin is one of the top Ferrari drivers on the platform, especially in the GTE car, and is beginning to make that transition to the GT3 now, because with GTE being retired in a lot of the real world series, it's not as easy to find a race with it anymore. Justin was dominant in the GTE with us here at CMS, and so maybe him and Max are good buddies, helping each other on engineering. And as I say that, it looks like Max is coming to the pits here. He's going to give away the lead here, Ryan, to come in, and let's see what he does here. If he takes fuel, and if they put him up on the jacks and tires with it, or if it's a fuel only stop. I'm thinking fuel only with 13 minutes to go, splash and go.
Yeah, you do get a couple of tires for free.
He opts to take them. It doesn't look like it. Don't see the car going up on the jacks.
Yep. Yeah, the tires can be a double-edged sword, because then you've got cold tires that take a while to work themselves in. So it's not always worth it.
Yeah, and we you're setting yourself up for something to go wrong. Potentially could be any number of things. But he's gotten to the pits here, gotten out with a fuel only. One of the things we talked on earlier too that I wanted to come back and give the viewers an update on is Tim Collier and Rafael Sosa. We saw Tim Collier was stuck behind Rafael and looked like he made an undercut move, came in early, took what looked like to be 4 tires. Rafael stayed out, and that has benefited Rafael more than it has Tim, because Tim finds himself now about, if I can get an exact gap here, about 2 or 3 seconds behind Rafael, who's just up the track. You can actually see them together here. If I do a rear chase, this is Rafael, and then there's 2 cars in the middle, and that's Tim behind him. So it looks like Rafael was the benefit, received the benefit of that, and his amount of time on pit road was pretty much identical to Tim's. In fact, it was identical. They were both on pit road for a total of 39.9 seconds. So this could also just be a product of Rafael getting through traffic a little better than Tim is.
Right. Yeah, that's the phase of the race where that is really shaking things up.
Yeah, it looks like Paul Darling is on pit road here now. So here's Paul coming into the pits. We'll see what he does. Car's actually going up for Paul. So like you said, couple of free tires. He may be taking advantage of that and getting fronts put on here. But it seems like he sat there a little bit longer, didn't it, than Max Muir?
I'm sure it felt like that to him.
Yeah, felt like that to me, that's for sure. And now we are left with the only one who has not been to pit road is this man. One of our favorite guys to talk to is Miguel Colon.
Yeah, I wonder what strategy he's cooking up tonight. We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, 6 laps to go. What do you know off the top of your head? Do you have from the admins what the fuel tank situation's like tonight? I know it varies from week to week.
Yeah, it varies in the sense that some tracks are different. The tanks are set at 85% of max every week.
Yeah, and so it just depends on the track, on the conditions. And we did see in one of the races earlier this year, there were some drivers. This was one of them, if I remember correctly, who was able to make it at Hungaroring without a stop. And Paul Darling used that to his advantage to get a win. So
yeah, JT managed to text us while he was driving.
Yes, he did.
That was okay.
Yeah, something we'll never forget. But we could see that happening. This is the only guy not to take it. I found it odd with the pace that Miguel has that he was 3 or 4 seconds behind Max. So could he have been intentionally running there, Ryan? To just save fuel from the get-go, right? It's going to be
stay behind, slipstream, a little bit of lift and coast. It might be doable.
It might be. We'll keep a close eye on this. I'm going to watch it. Help me watch it, and let's notice if he comes to the pits. I'll get right on it. But until then, let's do a quick top 5 rundown in each class. So we'll go back to the AMs to start. Hunter McRoby, he's been here since the beginning, remains in 7th place overall, the leader in AM, looking to put together his 2nd win in a row this early in the season. Joe Stifle is in second place. He is 4 positions behind Hunter on the track and about 15 seconds. So Hunter is cruising at this point. But Joe having a great race of his own. A little bit further back from them is Tim Collier in third position. Here is Tim. He's the caboose in this train that we see in this green and black Ferrari. Fourth place is Douglas Heinz. We saw Douglas get caught up in a little something earlier, but still having a solid run. And then in fifth position, right behind him, is Gabriel Albano, who we just the picture of consistency. That's the way the top 5 look. We'll go back to the pro class, and we'll work from 5th up to 1st. Paul Darling, 26 seconds behind the leader. It looks like Miguel Colon has come to the pits now, by the way.
Yes, he has. Yep, he's out.
He's in and out, and he's 2 seconds behind Max. So that's the end of that story. But Paul in 5th. DJ Alessandrini a few seconds up the road in 4th. Justin Hess in 3rd. Justin with another very strong run, and I think making a statement that he's going to be a regular in this top 5. Nice to see Justin out here again with us regularly. Nice that he's feeling better. Was dealing with some injuries at one point. Miguel Colon in 2nd, and the man of the day, the man of the hour, literally signed up for the league 2 hours before the race and was approved, is Max Muir in 1st. Little less than 10 minutes to go here, Ryan.
Yeah, that's quite a top 5 in both classes.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some drivers, unfortunately, who have called it a day already. That group includes David Kaufman, Peter Hebron, David Slee, Jeffrey Adams, John Reimerchuk, and Brett Trosen have called it a day. The other driver I'm seeing right now in 38th position, and I want to see what has happened, is James Gong. We've talked a lot about James, and let's see if we can't figure out what happened, Ryan. Here it is. Looked like he was coming out of the pits. And I'm not seeing anything, but he's showing in 38th position right now.
How long was his pit stop?
Maybe a disconnect of some sort? Yeah, he was on pit road for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've got to think that had to have been maybe he got disconnected. How unfortunate for James. Because that's significant. James came in 4th place in points tonight. That's going to be a big blow to his hopes. But that's what we call a mechanical, in sim racing. If you have an internet issue or something, it just unfortunately kind of becomes a mechanical, right?
Yeah.
Equivalent to an engine failure or something.
Yeah, but it's a long season, and other drivers are equally at risk of those things.
Yeah.
And he has not missed a race yet, so we do have one dropped race in our points calculations. So if this is the only race where he has an issue, it won't affect him at all.
Right. Here's Joe Stifle. Had some chatter that maybe something was going on with him, but I don't think so. I think he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. Remains in 11th overall. So doing okay. I'm going to quickly touch on just a couple more drivers to just give them a little bit of airtime that I don't know that I have ever talked about. How about Mike Sachs? Shout out to Mike in 28th position. Let's see how he looks here. Another paint scheme I can't say I love, Ryan, but this one is a little closer to the Porsche Golf colors. This one doesn't scare me as much as Leonard Burks does. I think that's what scares me about Leonard. Here's Leonard, and it's sort of like a failed attempt on the Golf livery thing. I think that's what's driving me crazy about it. But here's Mike Sachs, 28th position overall. How about Shout out to Matt Navoso in 27th position. Here's Matt. He's leading a group of cars here. Samuel Scott. We talked a little bit about Samuel in the Italian paint scheme, running in 20th. And we've given just about everybody else kind of upward from there some seat time. There's a few guys that, Paul Castillo still running. We've not talked about Paul tonight. He's in 36th place. Jack Clark is out here as well. Jack has had kind of a tough race. And it's interesting because Jack Clark must be teammates with Hunter McRoby, because this is Jack that we're riding along with here, Ryan. And then look at Hunter. They've got the identical paint scheme.
Yeah, I guess the
Reflex Motorsports.
Yeah, that is identical. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume those guys are teammates.
Or have very similar taste.
Very similar taste, or the same painter, or the same luck from, trading paints or something. Maybe they both favorited a car, but I'm going to guess that it's teammates. What do you think?
I would think so, but yeah, we'd love to know the story, so let us know.
Yeah. Hopefully those guys will be able to catch the broadcast and let us know. Oh, it looks like a
couple cars off there.
Couple cars off here. Let's see. Oh man. Yeah, let me see if I can't figure out what happened. This looks like Stephen Yanni was caught in something here. He's one of them. Here it is. Oh no. That was Matt Navoso. I don't know what Matt was thinking here. Let's watch this from the cockpit. It almost seemed like he just lost his brakes, Ryan.
Yeah, went in way too deep there.
Way, way, way too deep. It happens. It happens.
Yep. Yeah. It's a real helpless feeling.
Yeah. So we got about a minute left here, a minute and a half. I think we will see DJ Allen. It takes about a minute 41 to do a lap here. So I think we're going to see a white flag here from from Max Muir. So I am going to stay with Max here, and then we will bring you across finishing order for everybody watching out there for the top 20 tonight. I'll go all the way down to the top 20 and try to catch them, get to the line. Hopefully we'll pick up a couple of good positional battles in there, but we will kind of start here this last lap and just kind of watch 3/4 of it with Max and let him show us how to get around Imola as he brings her home to the finish. Watch and learn, everyone. This is how it's done.
He's right on the edge there. Some opposite lock.
Yeah, and Ryan, to me, this car is planted. He's got a great setup in this car. I can tell.
Yep.
Watch the way he'll come up here. He'll make this sort of double left-hander and then go back to the right to go through Aqua Minerale. And just watch how smooth he is through Aqua Minerale, which is one of the more difficult corner complexes in motorsports, in my opinion. Right here, watch how smooth he stays through here. Able to get right back on the gas, and then you're going to see him use a bunch of curb down here in the chicane. Really uses the curbs. Bounces off of it, tracks all the way out. And the other area I noticed earlier when we were watching him, Ryan, is down here. He gets through this last section where you have kind of the down the hill here, hard on the brakes, left, and then another left, and he just really hits the apex here. We're going to watch this man take what I believe should be... This should be the win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's crossed already. Miguel Colon in second. Justin Hess in third. I'm a little behind. DJ Alessandrini in fourth. Paul Darling fifth. Michael Parker across the line. Hunter McRoby. This is live. Hunter McRoby comes across, wins the AM race. Richard Hibbs. We talked about Richard coming around the last corner now. Richard Hibbs in 8th position. Fantastic run for Richard. I think a season high for him. Edward Nelson finishes. JT Tammy right behind him. Joe Steifel finishes. Rafael Sosa Shane Norton, Drew Lidke all coming to the line. Tim Collier coming to the line. Chris Hudson coming to the line. Doug Ince coming to the line. Here comes Albano just a little bit behind them. And he takes the checkered flag. And then what about this run? Victor Tanaka coming around. Looks like he's slow. Samuel Scott actually gets around him. Scott gets around. Tanaka may have been out of gas. I'm wondering if he tried to make it the whole way, Ryan, after coming in for the stop and go early. But brings it home to 20th position. Wow. That was just kind of goes to show you how fast I had to rifle through there, how close the race was for so many positions. Terrific.
Yeah, they were nose to tail the whole way.
Terrific. So congrats again to our winners tonight. Max Muir in the pro class. Hunter McRoby making it 2 in a row in the AM class. Shout out to our podiums. Miguel Colon, Justin Hess. Max Muir, of course, again with the win. And then the podiums in the AM class. Hunter McRoby, Joe Stifel, and Tim Collier. Again, 2 podiums in a row for Tim. What a great race.
It sure was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So Ryan, we'll give the drivers a minute here to join us, and maybe we'll get 1 or 2 of them in the booth. While we're waiting on them to make their way over here to talk to us, just a couple of things that I'll call out housekeeping-wise for those of you that are still with us. We want to first of all thank simrace247.com. They are our sponsor for this series. Check them out. Great site. We love Darren and his team. You can read all about sim racing as well as our series on their website. So give them a bookmark, give them a like on social media, and show them your support. They're a huge supporter of sim racing in general, and the sport wouldn't be what it is without their help. This race, we talked earlier about how important it was that drivers wanted to do well here to build momentum, because we go to a race next week that's going to kind of start a week's worth of events at Fuji that is just going to have a little bit more of a special feel to it. And that's because we will have 3 races over the course of 6 days or 7 days at Fuji. We will start this weekend, April 23rd, Sunday morning in the U.S. and later afternoon in the U.K., our Porsche Cup Series, which is sponsored by Penguin RC Simulation, will be at Fuji. Fixed setups, 30-minute race, some great prizes. Everyone that is a CMS member in good standing is welcome to join those races. You just have to be a good standing member with our community and be a member of our league on iRacing and show up and race. That will be broadcast as well here on our Twitch channel. That will then lead us into 75 minutes at this same track, Fuji, with this series next Wednesday night. So Ryan will get 75 minutes. I'm excited about that. I know you are too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And then we'll put on the big show. April 30th, we will be broadcast on Apex Sim Racing TV. They are our broadcast partner for the iRacing Team Endurance Series. We will do a 3-hour, 2 to 3 man driver swap endurance race at Fuji that will be multi-class with the LMDH, the LMP2, and the GT3 car all together amongst 3 different classes. So that'll be fantastic to wrap up a wonderful week at Fuji with all 3 series at the same place. I can't wait, Ryan.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Fuji, of course, being one of the newer tracks to be added to iRacing just, I think, a couple seasons ago. So, like, mid to late 2022, if memory serves.
Yeah.
So, it's one that we haven't seen in iRacing that much yet. So, really excited. I think it'll be our second time there.
Absolutely, and we'll also run the GT layout, which is without the chicane, and it's just a really, really fun layout. It's got one of the longest stretches in motorsports on that front stretch. It's a beautiful track. So check out the broadcast on our YouTube page from Apex Sim Racing TV, and get involved. It's not too late to sign up a team if you want to be in the IRTES. And so enough about that. Let's get Hunter McRoby in here and see if he'll talk to us for the second week in a row. Ryan, what do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I'll let you. Let's get him in here. I'll let you take it off to with him. He's our winner tonight. Let's hear from this man.
How's it going?
Hey, Hunter. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Has your heart rate come down yet?
Just a little bit.
Congratulations. That you made it look really good out there. Do you want to tell us about your race?
Yeah. So it was smooth sailing for the first half. Had a little contact with Michael, which was not intended, and ended up getting pretty close to the incident level point pretty early on. So just really took it easy in the second half. I think I got up to 16 out of 17 X's by the end. So I was really holding my breath in the last couple of laps, just making sure I didn't get any of those 1X's.
Ooh, definitely. Yeah, and for the viewers here, we have an incident limit of 17 incident points for these 60-minute races, and if you hit 17, you'll get a drive-through penalty. So you're not disqualified, but it still hurts. So yeah, but great run. I guess you were probably sweating it with the 16X there, but well done on not taking a little too much curb.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Hunter, super excited for you. 2 weeks in a row to talk to you. Also, two things that stood out to me. You got a great opportunity to be up there with Michael Parker, like you talked about, Paul Darling, DJ Alessandrini, some of the real top level sim racers. Not here just at CMS, but on the in the genre. And so I got to think that you're benefiting from that racecraft wise as well, being around those guys. That's got to be making you better.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, just racing around those guys, I've really learned a lot about like racecraft. Especially like trying to set up for overtakes. I realize you actually have to be a lot closer than I personally am comfortable with, like following people. So that's been super good, and I need to work on my race pace a little bit because it seems like I can hang with them in the beginning, but once we get halfway through, they just start to walk on me.
Yeah, I understand. Well, no shame in finishing where you did with them. I hope that we will see you and that you'll give some consideration to expanding your skills and joining us in our Porsche Cup Series, or our even getting a buddy if you haven't already, and getting in the iRacing Team Endurance Series. We would love to have you out there. You'd, I think, fit in great.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I didn't even know you guys did that, so
yeah.
that's
So
good to
we,
know.
go back and watch the broadcast. You'll hear us talking about it, and all next week we will have 3 races, all at Fuji. We'll have this series next Wednesday night. This Sunday before that will be our Porsche Cup Series Sunday morning in the U.S., and then the following Sunday our big show, which is kind of our flagship series for iRacing here at CMS, will be the team-based driver swap event at Fuji. So, Hunter, we hope to see you out there.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I don't think I'll be around next week because I do not have Fuji, but I look forward to doing this in 2 weeks' time and also possibly joining that endurance racing league. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, congrats again. Enjoyed talking to you, and we'll look to see you out there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for hosting.
You bet. All right, Ryan, let's see here. I see that we have Joe Stifle. Joe finished in second in the AM class. Let's see if we can get Joe in here. Let's see. Joe, long time no talk.
I know. Who would have thought in a million years I'd be talking to you again? I didn't. That's for one.
Well, tell us about it. You looked good out there. Second place finish. Another podium. You got to be happy with that, I would think.
Yeah, not only am I happy, I'm surprised. I was just kind of focused straight ahead and just trying to stay out of trouble. And I had no idea that I was actually in second place. Really just tried to stay out of the way of people who are faster than me and just try and keep an even pace and take advantage of the setup that Gabriel Albano let me have. He set up something that allowed me to just drive, concentrate on out the windshield and not complain about tire degradation or any of those things. So that was kind of my thing. A little bit of a surprise, but happy to be here.
Yeah, well, that's great. Are you and Gabriel official teammates, or was he just doing a good deed and helping you? Or
a couple of us on here are, kind of get together on Discord and help each other out, and a little support. Some folks didn't have the the best race of their careers. I know David Kaufman had some trouble early and had to park it for the night, but Jakester Racing back there. He was streaming Twitch, so we were trying to make a good show for the fans. But I have to give a good shout out to Ed Nelson, who was in front of me, doing good stuff. So, we all try and just encourage each other and keep on the track and stay safe and have fun, which is CMS. That's what it's all about here at CMS.
Well, we love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it. Ryan and I have really enjoyed covering you. We love your car too. Your paint scheme's just so badass. So,
thanks. It's an old famous Superflow paint job. The Superflow Tiger was a GT2 car, a 993 GT2 car back in the day. So.
Yeah, I love it, and we love how you kind of put your own branding on it and whatnot. Well, I hope that we'll see you and some of your buddies at one or both of our Porsche Cup and iRacing Team Endurance Series race next over the next week at Fuji, and then of course we'll be at Fuji in these cars as well next Wednesday night. So hope we get to see you across some or all of those events, Joe.
Absolutely. We keep coming back because it's lots of fun, and we appreciate everybody here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, hey, have a good night. Congrats again, and hope to get to talk to you again real soon.
All right, David. Ryan, have a great night.
You too, Joe.
All right, who else is hanging out here? I see Miguel Colon. I do not see our winner, Max Muir, so that is unfortunate. But let's get Miguel in here. He finished second, and no funner person to talk to than Miguel, is there, Ryan?
Nah.
Let's talk to him here.
Hey, Miguel.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Are we? Are you in quiet time with your daughter trying to sleep there?
So I was talking with the guys about that. Like 5 minutes before the quality, 10 minutes. Like I put the radio on so that everybody could hear it crying because she woke up. I was like, ah, there goes my plan of getting her sleep before the race. So I went quickly, prepared like a quick bottle. I give it to her, and like she fell asleep like right there before the quali. So it was like just in time again.
Oh, well, we got a brand new race fan then.
Yeah, and we've got a father first, and love that, and amazing driver second, and a second place finish tonight too, Miguel. Looks like Max was kind of, he had you guys covered from what we could tell, but still a tremendous run. Tell us what you saw from your purview tonight.
Yeah, so I honestly was just trying to keep up with him the whole race. Then I was saving some fuel. So like my strategy was like try to keep between 2 seconds, no more than that, close to him, save as much fuel like I could, and then do like a short pit. I did put a little extra because I feel like he had a good pace, and in case I had to actually push the car and no fuel save for the last couple laps, to have plenty. And then I got caught up with the lap car when we were coming out of the pits. I had to check on that, and then he basically pulled away. And then when I tried to push to try to get him, I lowered my pace like a half second. And then suddenly he came on to like a 41.0. I was like, okay, he had something off, in his pocket or whatever in case that he needed. So he had a good pace. It was very fast.
Well, I think you're going to end up having leapfrogged Victor tonight because he had to serve a penalty and still had a good run. But was only able to get back up to 20th position. Paul Darling had another strong run, but I think you're definitely going to be right there. I got to think, too, that hopefully this helps you take some momentum into what's going to be a big week at Fuji. We'll have Porsche Cup this Sunday. We'll have a 75-minute race next Wednesday night in the GT3 cars. And then, of course, we'll have the iRacing Team Endurance Series on April 30th. So how are you feeling going into that set of races?
Well, I think it's going to be a quite different setup. I know that Porsche feels in a specific way. The Mercedes GT3 feels different. And then in the ERTS, we are running the Lambo. So it's like totally different car. So it will be fun to see how adjusting from one car to the other one in the same class. So let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be a good race too.
Yeah, it should be fun. We're always excited to see you out there. It'll be fun to have you back. I know you had to miss the last race in Porsche Cup, so I know you'll hopefully be out there with us on Sunday, and look forward to having you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to join you guys this weekend. Appreciate for you guys for the stream. I really like to watch them on my way to go back to work in the morning or when I'm here in my house before going to sleep. So I enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, and we certainly enjoy you. Ryan, any other questions for Miguel?
No, just congratulations again, and I really hope you do well at Fuji next week.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna be. I think this year we've flipped the switch. Michael Parker, my M&M partner, he may be winning the races, and then I will be Mr. Second Place for the races this season. But I will take that as long as I can fight for the championship.
Well, go over there. The M&M brothers. We love you guys. I hope you're both there on Sunday morning. Can't wait to call that one. We'll be on air for that one as well.
For sure, guys.
Yep. All right. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you again, Miguel. All right. I've got one more here. We'll see if he can talk to us, Ryan. But how about we bring in Richard Hibbs? We've not talked to Richard yet this year. He had a solid top 10 finish tonight, and would love to hear what he has to say. You want to take it away with him if we can get him in here?
Sure.
Yeah, 8th place in the points coming in tonight, and finished in 8th place tonight in the race. Richard.
Good evening, Rich.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Hey, so congrats on the top 10. What did you come in? P8?
Yeah, P8 was a pretty solid and lonely-ish race at times, but tried
Hey,
to.
around Imola, that's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in traffic, so as soon as we started catching traffic, I pitted, which put me into nice open space again. And then basically, I didn't see anybody again until like the last 2 laps of the race. So.
Oh, wow. Everywhere we looked, we saw traffic, so I don't know. You must have found a real pocket of it somewhere.
Yeah, I just as I was coming up to the traffic, I noticed that there was a huge window on the track that I would have fallen into. So I wasn't gonna try to battle through the traffic and lose more time to Hunter at that point. So I was gonna pit, try not to lose time to Edward, and just try to build that gap while I had clear space, and it worked. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's always good, when you get a strategy that comes together and helps you pick up a spot or two.
Yeah, you really, Richard. We wanted to bring you in here tonight for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, a great run, and you've quietly been having a really good season. I think this may have been a season high, or if not close to it. And we've had a few fans of yours on the broadcast rooting for you, and I don't know if you know who those folks are, but we've enjoyed that as well.
yeah, they're my endurance teammates.
Yeah.
So we ran the 12-hour Sebring together. We won that, and Daytona we finished second. So they're good guys.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we've got to figure out how to get you guys if you're not already. And I lose track of. There's so many great racers, but we need to get you in our endurance series. We've got a big race coming up at Fuji for the iRacing Team Endurance Series, April 30th. Would love to get you guys out there with us. I think you'd be just a great addition to the series.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of time on the weekends during the summer, so I won't be available, but I'll let the guys know if they're interested.
Yeah, we'd love to have you guys out there represented, and really enjoy watching you. Great race tonight, kept the car clean, and we're kind of looking at the standings here as we wrap up tonight. You're within 10 points of about a podium in the 10, 15 points of about a podium between where you sit now and third place or so in the championship, and a long season ahead. So would love to see if we can't get you in the winner's circle before this thing's over.
I just need to keep my nose clean. VIR was my worst race, and that's because I didn't keep my nose clean. All the other races I've been able to stay out of danger, and really, with the talent level in this field right now, I just want to get top 10s. And if it's consistent top 10s, and hopefully some of the top 5s have a little bit of issues, and I can sneak up there occasionally, would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Richard, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking to us. Wanted to to have you in here, and we certainly really, really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. It looks like we may have briefly lost Ryan, so I will see if he comes back in here. But at any rate, we'll go ahead and wrap up for the night. Ryan, another fun one tonight. I certainly enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, this was just great racing wall to wall.
Yeah, really was. And, we know we talked about this multiple times tonight. You wanted to have a good race tonight to go into next week at Fuji, not only in this series, but the other 2 series around it. It's going to be a big week. You're going to get a lot of track time there. And I think the drivers who went in tonight are going to have a little bit of advantage just confidence-wise. Fuji's another difficult track. I'm super excited to bring that one. That'll be I can't remember for the Wednesday race next week. Will that be our first 75 minute of the year, or did we do 75 minutes at Daytona? I think we may have.
Not Daytona, but yeah, I think
Sebring,
race
maybe?
1 was 75. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the way things are set up here. The races on Wednesdays are either 60 or 75 minutes, and so next week we'll get 75-minute variety. And we'll also have the Porsche Cup Series on Sunday, the 23rd, and then the big race on April 30th. So I guess until then, Ryan, anything you want to say to anybody out there before we put this one in the books?
No, just thanks everybody for coming out, whether you're racing or just a viewer coming out to support us and your teammate or loved one or friend or whatever. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And one thing that we don't often get an opportunity to say, and I'll sort of leave everyone with this out there, is at Champion Motorsports, what we pride ourselves on is having an amazing community here. It's a community first, a sim racing league second. And also, for those of you who may not know this, we've got many, many different disciplines that you can get involved in here. If you like to play Richard Burns Rally, or if you like to play Dirt Rally 2, we've got a chapter for those. If you like to play Assetto Corsa, we've got a chapter for Assetto Corsa that has in its 26th or 7th season now. We run Assetto Corsa Competition. We have a very vibrant R Factor 2 community. We play with AMS2, which is Automobilista. So there's so many ways to get involved, and we do a lot of other fun things as well. We've got the ability on our Discord to get involved and just kind of be a fan, if you will, and chat it up. Very vibrant community. So encourage anybody that's not out there to come get involved with us. Meet some new friends. We love to make new friends, and can't wait to get to know all of you better. So for Ryan and David, we will call it a night again, and we will see you all at Fuji this time next week, and hopefully as well on the 23rd, which is Sunday, for our Porsche Cup Series Sunday morning in the U.S. So tune into Twitch for that. So Ryan, I'm ready to call it a night if you are.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
All right, take care, everyone, and we will see you all on the track, which is our slogan. Good night.